they were on the rail. It was Loni, Garcelle, and of course, Adrienne Houghton. Jeannie is still away taking care of her new child, Monaco. Congratulations to them. Um, and they decided to bring up this topic about Erika Girardi and how she's in this case dealing with the bankruptcy trustee to try to, pay back these victims. And apparently, Tom used trustee funds to pay for a pair of $750,000 diamond earrings, right? And Garcelle and them talked about it on the show. She ended up saying that, Erika did give the earrings to a third party to hold on to. And if in fact she does have to turn them in, she will. But basically the gist of the conversation was, and I'm still shocked that they were even able to talk about this, but the gist of the conversation was, Erika Girardi should just do the right thing and give the earrings to the people. Okay, plain and simple. Why would you want to be associated with the notion that you have possessions paid for by the settlement money of victims? Why would you even want to be associated with that? Just do the right thing and get rid of them, which I totally agree with. But just going back to the top of the conversation, why did the producers of The Real think that it was a great idea to even talk about this situation? Why didn't Garcelle in the morning meeting be like, y'all do know I'm working with this woman, okay? I don't need to be talking about her case. I don't need to be talking about, what's going on and what she's doing with the earrings and what she done told me on the set of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Because, I don't know, that just seems a little bit odd to me. And even from the position of Garcelle, I would not be wanting to talk about this girl, on daytime television if I have to go to vacation with this woman. You get what I'm saying? And then the interesting thing about the whole situation is Loni being so messy. Okay, being so messy. Y'all, I am happy that they talked about it. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy that they talked about it because it's like, ooh, tea. Okay, it was a really interesting clip. I'm going to go ahead and link it down below. I'll insert a little bit of it in just a second. But, I'm happy that they were talking about it because it was some major, major, major tea. I'm just shocked that it was allowed. With that being said, Loni ended up giving us this little story about how they were all at, Garcelle's birthday party. Everybody was lit. They were dancing, were having fun and things of that nature. And I actually thought that they were telling a story about Dorito because remember I came on my platform and I was like, remember when Adrienne Houghton watched The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for like the first time and got really upset at Dorito because Dorito was yelling at Garcelle and Garcelle and Adrienne are cool and this, that, and the third. So they ended up going to the birthday party. All of the ladies from Beverly Hills was there. And it was a whole situation, right? So that very same birthday party, according to Loni, Erika Jayne walked up to Adrienne and herself and started talking about the case. And I don't really understand why Erika is talking about this very sensitive case to some strangers because she does not know Adrienne and she does not know Loni. And the funny thing about the situation is that Loni and Adrienne aren't interested in getting to know Erika Jayne. And it's so funny because while they were telling the story, Garcelle was sitting there like, yeah, I got the girls from The Real spilling all your tea, sis. Okay, it was giving lots of shade. Okay, but with that being said, they ended up recounting the story of Erika running up to them and basically saying that, it's the people that don't look like this who believe me in this whole situation. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show the clip, and then we're going to talk about it.
And you like, you coming over here, and she was like, the people that believe me the most?
She did.
And I was like...
She actually pointed at her own skin and said they are not.
Yeah.
Now, Erika Jayne, why the hell would you say that? Why the hell would you say that? Number one, it's not true. Point out the black people that believe you, because this black person don't. I personally believe, and this is just my opinion, I believe that Erika Jayne had some sort of inkling that her husband, Mr. Tom Girardi, had some funny business dealings and was doing things that he wasn't supposed to be doing. And the reason why I believe this is because months to years before the LA Times article, there were already articles and stories written about how he was not paying the co-lawyers. What do you call a lawyer when there's two different lawyers on a case? I forgot the term for it. But he was, getting client money and settlement money and wasn't paying off the other lawyers that were working on the case. They had written about this a long time ago, I think years ago. So if these things are already out there and if these things have already been reported, how are you then in today's time claiming that you don't know anything about his funny business dealings? How can you claim that you don't know about anything that he got going on at work when it's literally in the press? I believe the woman had an idea that, the man wasn't that honest. He was a bit of a fraud. But with that being said, okay, that's neither here nor there. The point of the matter is Erika Jayne pointed at her skin and said, yeah, it's the people that don't look like me that believe me, which number one, I just found that to be really silly. It's foolish. You're pandering because you have a black and Hispanic, is Adrienne Hispanic, Latina audience. Fact check me in the comments down below. You're only doing that because you're talking to two women of color and you no longer have an audience of white women. Okay. Secondly, it's not the black people that believe you. I don't know where you got that from because this person, okay, who happens to be black, don't believe you. I know a lot of other black people that don't believe you. Okay. I'm in tune with the YouTube streets and the black bloggers say guilty, liable, return the diamonds, apologize to the victims. So I don't know where she got that from. I have no idea where she got that from. Okay. I'm just a little bit confused. Okay. I'm really, have been taken back by this clip. Now, I do want to go ahead and read this comment from this commenter. A comment from a commenter, right? And they said, well, first off, I would like to say that this was taped on Wednesday right before Garcelle and the ladies of Beverly Hills flew to their final cast trip to Aspen. So there's that. Okay, so this is before the big blow up between Garcelle and Erika, allegedly. Because it's unclear what's going on with Garcelle and what's her name, Erika. And I think I'm gonna have to do a whole deep dive. Okay, I did a whole deep dive on Salt Lake City a couple of hours ago. I'm gonna need y'all to pull it up and watch it. But I think I'm gonna do a whole deep dive on the developments of Beverly Hills so far. But allegedly, Garcelle and Erika got into a really big fight. So this clip of the reel was taped before then. And now that it's airing or being circulated now, I can only imagine how Erika is going to feel about the situation. She is going to be upset. And I can see this being a storyline on the show. I can see Erika being upset that Garcelle discussed her situation on Daytime Talk and really not messing with the girl no more. But the commenter went on to say, since this taping, we have learned that Erika was dropped from the case in Chicago, but it is now being refiled in the state of California for the correct jurisdiction in which Tom's firm is located, as well as the illegal account funds were transacted. She's not out of the woods. Okay, Erika, they're still looking at you, sis. But the person says, I just personally feel like this is a lot. And it's unfortunate because at the end of the day, we've seen stuff like this happen. Teresa went to jail for 2 years due to her husband's foolery. Dolores' husband lost his attorney license because of some shady stuff he was doing. And I would like to believe Erika, but the way she acted last season, I would have expected more. Yeah, she was acting very defensive, which I understand it, but it's just like, it's a little bit guilty for me. It's giving guilty. It's giving return your possessions. Okay? It's giving you knew that this man was going broke. This man said he had like $75 million in cash and it's gone. And that wasn't the dementia, boo. That was his very, functioning side of his brain that told him to take them people's money, allegedly. The commenter went on to say, the woe is me and I'm going through a divorce, I'm sure is awful. But there are people who have lost family members, burn victims, crash victims. And when people are telling their stories of how they've been done wrong by your spouse, and then your reaction is, of course, the victims matter, but there should not be a but. They are the only ones that matter, not the fact that you downsized on a home and lost your luxurious lifestyle. Now, I would mostly have to agree with that. Of course, Erika and her feelings and her life does matter, right? The fact that she's pretending, or maybe she really did not know, to be shocked about these allegations, the fact that her whole life and lifestyle is being turned upside down. She's adjusting to her new normal. And so I do empathize on that aspect of things. It cannot be easy to have this certain lifestyle and then to not have it no more. To have a husband and then to not have it no more. To have friends or have people around you that you thought were friends and then to not have them anymore, right? So I do empathize with Erika on that stance. But at the end of the day, I think what is the nucleus of this situation is the fact that there are people who have nothing and depended on a man to get them justice only to be burned twice. So, girl, return the stuff. Return it. Return it, boo. If you were given gifts and things from him and this man was stealing allegedly, obviously he paid for it using these people's money. You don't even have to investigate that. Like, that's just common sense. Like, hello. Anyways, y'all gotta let me know how y'all feel about the situation in the comments down below. I am just shocked that Garcelle talked about the situation. We gotta have a dialogue in the comments. I'm gonna go ahead and log off. I love you guys, and don't forget to create a great day.